last time you were on the show on the phone, and you talked about how Josh Rosen has done a 180, okay, that he has totally changed, and that it seems that has not been absorbed by a ton of talent evaluators who could make Josh Rosen a top 5 pick in this year's draft. What do you think about the conversation of Rosen now that we're a week away from the draft, Trent?
I think my big takeaway would be, and I'm like everybody else, now that I'm not on TV, I'm just kind of watching as a fan and listening to my friends talk about it, people I respect, people I don't respect, all the different narratives. I don't think people understand him. I think the people that love him have gotten to understand who he is and appreciate that type of personality, that type of mind, that type of competitor, perfectionist. The people that are like, oh no, entitled, came from money, not coachable, whatever these false narratives are, kind of like I was when he was 17, I coached him in Elite 11. They aren't willing to expand their brains to say, not everybody is like this, whoever this is. That there's different makeups of greatness. And he needs to be challenged. He needs to be challenged all the time. He needs to be stimulated. He is going to push back if you just tell him, hey, do it this way because this way worked for 3 other guys. He wants to know the why behind everything. I think that's a good thing. I do know this. I know he's fallen more in love with football over the past couple years than he loved it before then. I think he was so gifted at it early on. He was so successful that it became part of his identity. And I think the 3 hard years at UCLA and the 3 offenses and not winning all the time, he had won his whole life. He won in tennis. He won at John Bosco. I mean, he'd always won. And now he goes to UCLA, he doesn't win all the time. That's hardened him and made him relook at whether he loves football or whether he loves what football brings him. And 2 years ago, I would have said he loves what football brings him. Now, getting to know him and understand him more, I think he absolutely loves football.
So let's take that in 2 pieces there for what you just said. Starting with what you saw in Elite 11. So all of the negatives and red flags that have been said about Josh Rosen now used to be viable when he was a 17-year-old?
I think he would tell you that. If he was sitting right here, we just had this conversation in the airport in Orange County a couple weeks ago. I think he would tell you that. Yeah, I was immature. I was hard-headed. I wasn't that coachable. I thought I knew everything. I think he'd be the first person to tell you that.
Right.
He's not that guy anymore. Now, he's going to be a challenge in a good way. And I hope I'm communicating this properly. This is a good thing. He's going to challenge the coaches every single day to bring their A games. He's going to want to know why. He's not going to be the guy that sits in the quarterback room and quarterback coach says, hey, Josh, on versus this coverage, when they roll this safety here, I want you to make this check and throw it over here. He's saying, okay, why? What are we accomplishing by doing that? So you're going to have to bring your A game every single day. You're going to have to wake up in the morning as a coach, if you're coaching him, and say, okay, what can I do today to stimulate him, to challenge him so I get the best out of him? Because if I just bring my normal game, if I just show up to work, punch the ticket and come in, I'm just going to get an average guy. I'm just going to get a guy that's probably going to get bored. But if I come in today and I can stimulate him and I can challenge him with something and give him more power, more authority of this offense and make it more his, the sky's the limit for this kid. Because from a talent standpoint, a processing standpoint, there's not many that can do it better.
So then here comes the second part. What you're saying sounds similar to what Jim Mora had to say about him.
Yeah.
But when Mora said that he's got to be challenged, he's going to ask why, that he needs to you need to make sure that his football life is a challenge, otherwise there could be a problem, that was viewed as a negative from his coach.
Well, the problem is boredom. It's not that he's going to go do anything stupid. It's just going to be boredom. It's the same with a gifted artist or musician, right? If they're not stimulated, if they're not creatively stimulated, they're just going to come out with something. They're just going to get bored.
So where do you think the best fit is for him? Knowing that what you just said, that a coach needs to bring in, coaching staff needs to bring its A game and be able to handle the questioning of their scheme.
I don't think the Giants are going to draft a quarterback. I'm kind of with everybody else.
Okay.
But I think that's a great spot for him. I think the Jets is a great spot for him with Jeremy Bates. Jeremy's a smart guy. He's an intellect. He's a thinker. He's been around a lot of great football. His catalog of information is broad, and I think the city of New York is perfect for Josh. I think he will thrive off the energy, the sophistication, the scrutiny that comes with being in New York. I think it fits perfectly with his personality. And when I'm talking about challenging him and stimulating him, I think the fan base in New York will go crazy over this kid. I think he will endear himself to that particular fan base. I think either New York team's a great fit.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.